and he served in the Michigan House of Representatives for 6 years, from 2002 to 2008. In 2010, he was elected to the Michigan Senate to serve the 38th district, which includes the 13 of the UP's 15 counties. Prior to being elected to the legislature, Casperson worked for 27 years in his family's log trucking business, including 12 years as its owner and operator. That business, Casperson and Son Trucking, was started by his grandfather. While in the House, Casperson served as an assistant majority whip and as chair of the House Conservation, Forestry and Outdoor Recreation Committee and vice chair of the Transportation Committee. And in the Senate, Casperson has the distinction of being one of the only 2 state senators to chair 2 Senate policy committees. He serves as the chair of the Transportation Committee and the Natural Resources, Environment and Great Lakes Committee. So Tom, I'd like to welcome to you.
Thank you, Pazzi. Special shout out to Pazzi. I first met him up at Michigan Tech. Didn't know what to expect, and he laid out what he was working on and was very impressed. And thank you for the invite here. Full disclosure, I have to tell you that what my qualifications are, I found out this when I was given the committee chairs, as you mentioned. I didn't realize that when I was a log hauler that qualified me to be chairman of transportation and chairman of the natural resources. So that was a pretty good deal that happened there as a log hauler. I find it a little bit ironic that I'm here I am promoting rail. Having been a truck driver my whole life, you would think maybe we're in competition, and to a degree we probably are. But in my own lifetime, I can tell you the limited rail service we do have in the Upper Peninsula, we used it every chance we could get. I loaded many rail cars in my lifetime, and what we did is we got out about 100 miles away from the mill. If we had a job that was about 100 miles or beyond, we were always looking for rail sidings and seeing if we could get rail in there to load rail cars and then come back with a load. So there's a great partnership that can be had, I believe, between the trucking industry and the rail service. The importance of it, and I think all of you probably here know that, and I want to thank everybody here for your participation, because rail is going to be instrumental in our comeback in the state and probably the country, in my opinion. And I think our little snapshot of what's happening in the Upper Peninsula is a good example of what can happen. You hear a lot of talk about, I always hear it all the time on transportation, about how good infrastructure makes for a good economy. That helps your economy grow. And a lot of times people hear that and they're wondering, what in the world are you talking about? How is it connected? How does that happen? Well, when you look at the rail service potential that we have, especially for our world in the Upper Peninsula, the opportunity right now with mining is about to explode. If we can get past some of the red tape and the hurdles that are in front of us, the opportunities are enormous. We're going to see a comeback, I believe, in mining like we've never seen in our lifetime. A lot different scenario, but it's going to be done. But rail plays a key role in that whole scenario. Whether they're going to be successful or not, based on our ability to have the rail service come back. We've seen a little bit of it already with the Lundin mine, the Humboldt mill. They're putting in rail where there was a snowmobile trail, and the company's working with the snowmobilers to get them another trail. So we can offset some of those problems, but it's instrumental. I come from the logging industry. As I mentioned, again, rail is key to promoting that industry. With it, whether it be the logs or the value-added products, rail is instrumental. When you look about Michigan, you see the port opportunities with ports and containers, instrumental. I've got companies up in my district now that are trucking their containers down to Chicago, putting them on rail in Chicago, sending them across to the West Coast, and then ultimately out. Imagine having a rail system in the Upper Peninsula that can get right down to our ports, right on the Great Lakes, shipping from there out, the cost savings that could be for these companies and the future growth of the companies that could potentially be there. We'd like to see more value-added products made from our mining, from our logging, and the different extraction industries that we have. Rail is going to be instrumental in making that happen. So, again, I want to thank everybody for what they're doing. Real quick on the legislative note, we're trying to get through this hurdle called Medicaid expansion. I believe once we get through that, it's my hope the next big issue we take up is transportation funding. And I think we're getting to the point now, even the folks in Michigan realize there's a problem there and that we need to address it. It's gone far too long. We've gotten behind. We need to come back. And again, I think it's all intertwined. So hopefully that'll be the next big issue you hear about shortly going into the fall, it's going to be transportation funding, and I know that my good friend, Representative Schmidt, has been working on. He's been the lead over in the House, and so we're looking forward to moving forward with what he's already accomplished over there. So, President, should I introduce?
I can come with the
You're going to do it? Okay. Well, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.